Hello guys, it's Shannon from Bitcoin Bankers and it's 5th of January 2018. Hope you had a great new year. Hope you're sort of over all your hangovers and partying and everything now and starting to get ready to jump into the cryptos for this year. I think it's going to be a good year. Good year. I wonder if it'll be a Lambo year. Can I get my Lamborghini? No, I'm just messing around. Look, that's a long-term goal. I like those things. I love cars and all that sort of stuff. But I love music as well, and I'd like to, make some changes. Look at the end of the year, maybe look at relocating somewhere a little bit different for a change. I've been in this one particular city my whole life, so I wouldn't mind looking at something different later on. But that's way further away. We got a big year ahead of us, and I'll give my quick little spiel. Bitcoin Bankers is all about the small investor, the small person that just has a few bucks to spare and wants to start building their crypto folio and start making a little bit of money. You've probably heard about Bitcoin, you've probably heard about cryptocurrencies and people talking about it. So this video is, we take a safe way. We don't use credit cards. I don't endorse that sort of thing. I don't endorse using your house as collateral to buy these things. I just say if you've got spare money lying around, if you have junk in the garage, you can scrape up a few $100s. I mean, you can even. I started with $35, okay, and then I added a bit more and added a bit more, and I had some silver as well. I sold that, and that was back in. I'm gonna think that was back in. June, July of 2017, and so I started with that small amount. I'm now sitting on about $3,500, and I'm just working that up, just constantly sort of moving here, moving there. I have about 40-50% in a long-term folio with long-term coins, and you can check my other videos for that. And I have basically a flipping part of my folio as well, so I just kind of jump in for a little while. It might be a few days, it might be a week, I might do some day trading, or I might just leave it there for a little bit longer and just move things around a little bit. But we're all in a learning process. The cryptocurrency market is very different to a lot of the other markets that have come out. They can be very volatile, and that can make you a lot of profit. It can also cause you a bit of loss if you're not careful. So we go over markets here. I use some very basic tools, and I'm going to show you some of those tools today as we look over the markets. Look, lots going on. And just quickly, I'm going to just jump over here for a minute. The other day I did a video, and it was called The Biggest YouTube Scam of Them All. I put up, it's this one here. Okay, let's jump back. You'll see that in a minute. Let's jump back here. Excuse me. Now, see this before it's gone, because I thought YouTube would really rip it down and get rid of it, but they don't seem to care. So I'll leave it there, okay? And basically, look, it's a long story behind all that. You can watch the video and see what's going on there. Anyway, I'm going to do a video because we're in the new year, and I think there's a lot more interest coming in. If you're in Australia, I'm going to show you one or two, probably just one main website exchange that you can go to get your fiat currency from your bank to a crypto exchange in Australia, and then show you how to sort of sign up and get an account going and what you need, and then how to have one or two other accounts out on the globe in the net that don't require as much sort of checking, and they only deal in crypto. So it means you have to turn your money into crypto, and then you can send it out to other crypto exchanges and start to buy and trade and sell. And because a lot of people aren't sure how to do that sort of thing, it is very a different type of market. It's an unusual approach because it's all very new. We're using new technology, using blockchains and stuff like that. Anyway, I've talked enough. I know what everyone wants. We want to get into these markets, okay? So let's just jump and have a look, okay? I'll open my major screen. So this is Litecoin. We've been keeping an eye on Litecoin because there's a lot of I'll say energy and talk moving around Litecoin. It's almost as old as Bitcoin, really. Been around very, very long time. It's just sort of really sat on a low spot. And only recently has it sort of finally blasted off and started acting like a real tradable commodity, if you want to say that. So recently, I'm going to jump to the 4 hour because I think this was done in the 4 hour. And I'll just refresh that. So, oh God, I'm using a free site. It's called TradingView. You do get those pop-ups come up, but you just got to just click them away. So it looks like, I'm just trying to have a look here. Okay, so you can see as we move time frames, these do move off. So I will go back to that day chart that I was on. I thought it was the 4 hour, but it was the day. Okay, let's have a bit of a look here. Now we mapped out our what's called our Elliott wave. Okay, it moves in 5 movements. Okay, some people don't like using these sorts of tools, but I think the best thing to do is always have a whole lot of tools that you can use and make use of, and I'll quickly go through some of those today. But essentially what I use is the Elliott wave. I use the Fibonacci retracement tool. I use MACD, and I use the RSI. Okay. The reason I use all these tools is to basically give me the best indication possible of where the coin is likely to go. We don't know where these things will go. There's a lot of fundamental elements that can change the direction while it's in its particular path, but you're looking at 70-80% of the time it's going to follow your technical analysis along these lines. Okay, so looking at Litecoin, it's made its a 5-wave move. It's now in a retracement, so it's moving back. And if you have a look there, it's basically pretty much got a spot on to the day. And I'm going to go down to the hour, okay, because we might be able to see things a little better. You can see where it's been moving and how it's moving across. I'll just undo that. Okay. And you can see that's basically these moves have pretty much followed right on, and we're coming right up to this end area now where she's going to get very interesting, and we really aren't sure where it's going to go. From this point we could have a little move down. I don't think it'll move past this support area, but we want to look and see watch it move up. Now it could move up with all the stuff going on around Litecoin at the moment. This could move pretty quickly, and I think what people are waiting on hearing is what companies Litecoin is actually lining up with. There's a lot of rumors about it being connected with Amazon, that Amazon will soon adopt Litecoin as a payment system, and Amazon is also opening a new factory down here in Australia, distribution center in Australia here, so that'll be massive. So if you have shares in Amazon, I think you're going to go pretty well this year. If you have crypto, you should do pretty nicely as well. So we're now moving to this point here where you can see the coins is sort of starting to work. It's working its way back. It's gone through its retracement. We could have a few more, or it could really bust out. It's been kind of a fair bit of time that this has been moving. It's moved right along the path. Now, you can go back and look at my other videos, and I've mapped this out. Man, she's pretty much got spot on. So I'm pretty proud of that. And I actually drew all this when there was nothing here, so you can actually go and see that. So that's Litecoin. Like I said, we're getting up to that moment now where everyone's starting to get nervous, but there's a lot of trading. I think this will move upward. I don't think it's going to move down any further from here. I think she's stayed on its support of just under the 50% in the Fibonacci, and I'll show you what that means. So here's a 50% line. We've gone from a 1 right up to the 0, and we do it this way because it's starting at a base and moving up, and we have to measure a retracement from the full extension of the waves, okay? And we measure that retracement back along the cycle and give an estimate, because it's kind of like I can relate to these pretty well, because it's kind of like watching a sound wave oscillate. Okay, it's kind of, and you got resonance and things like that, and I don't know, it really kind of resonates with me quite a lot when I look at these. I can go, oh yeah, because I'm a sound engineer, so I worked with a lot of oscillations and things, and with waves and electronics and stuff, and it just there's some similarities, and it's quite interesting. Anyway, I'm not going to gas bag on. So there's your 50%. It's moved back to that from the top, moved right back down to at the 618, to be honest, and that's pretty much there. They call it the golden ratio. That's generally where things are going to fall once they've had a big run. They can fall lower, they can go shorter, but generally once they move off the top, they go down to around this kind of range. they work back up, and then they start sort of bouncing and ping-ponging in this area. And depending on what the coin's actually doing at the time, it could go for another cycle of correction, okay, and then you'll have even worse. You can have another one that can just keep continuing until it finally consolidates and everyone makes up their mind and the price moves. Given things that are going on with Litecoin, it may not go through that full correction all the way out. It's getting into a position now where she's really going to start to pop. And if you have a look at our MACD down here, you can see over time, this is on the hour, okay? You can see over time that she's had this big growth, big input, massive growth. Then it's pulled right back and sold off. It's bounced around, and then it's gone back right down, released all of its volume, and started working back. Then it's gone through a bit of a correction phase through here, drops off. People become uncertain. They're not sure where it's going. There was some FUD that came out. All these things drive the market. And then it started to get its volume back from here, move up again. Then it's come down. So this is just the way that she moves. It could come up and come down even further. However, I don't think it's really going to do that. It could, and it could move down to, say, as low as this, around the $108 mark, or it could go down to the 151. But I don't know. I just don't think it's going to do that, but I could be wrong. Like I said, this is the real difficult area of trying to project where it's going to go. So this is where we use indicators now, tools, okay? So we're using the MACD, that's a moving average, okay? And then we look at it on the hour and say, okay, that's the volume over each hour as it's been building. Then you can go to the day, as we were before. We're on the day. Okay, let's correct that. If you have a look here, it's had its growth, and this is a much slower moving sort of like moving average that it's showing. It's representing that time. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, and it's coming down. So it could be moving into its second upward wave, okay, as she starts to move around and it starts to grow. So it's all getting into a position now, right, where she could either move up or continue to move down. So you're going to see a lot of indecision, I think. Like I said, people are waiting to see where it wants to go. On the RSI, this is your residual strength index. It's measuring the constant volume, the growth of the price and the amount of coin being sold and purchased. Okay, and when it reaches its peak, usually around 80, 90, it starts to sell off and move down. Okay, and it'll move down in a few waves, and then it'll sort of, depending on how hard they sell, it can go right down to the 20s and 30s, but it usually sort of hits around the 30, 40, and then bounces and starts to move back to make its volume. And people start buying back in again, and it will go like that. And it just constantly, continually goes, as you can see. If I really shorten it down, you can see that kind of hard sell-off here, and then it works its way back up. Right? Works its way back up. Then it starts to sell off, because when things get oversold, or I should say overbought, depending on which way you look at it, people say, oh, well, it's really sort of maximizing its volume here. It's got too much pressure. People want to sell. They want to let go of it so it can release and then come down and people buy back in. Okay, and then it works its way back up, and then bang, there's been a big sell-off again. So that's just the way that it works. And up here you can see she's still kind of working its way down. And this is on the day, so we have to really see where she's going. Okay, so we are at a crucial point with Litecoin. I bought some Litecoin the other day. I bought some Monero the other day as well, and I'm just kind of going to hold and see where things go for now. All right. Anyway, so that's Litecoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum. I'll try and keep this video as short as possible. Where am I? Okay. No, I just did the Bitcoin, didn't I? Ethereum. Oh, yeah, this is what I wanted. Yes, and I'm very well aware I should have this over here. So we put in these lines of support and resistance the other day. We've seen it break through that resistance, which is what we wanted it to do. That was at the 800 marks. That was quite high, but you can see it was sort of moving around here. in the $700. I wasn't quite sure. Even dropped down right down about the 600. That would have been a great price to buy if you got in there. It would have been great. And she shot off again. So we're just sort of seeing where that goes. I haven't done much of a chart for Ethereum yet. I'm just holding a little bit of it. Not much. I think I got like just under one coin, one Ethereum. I bought a little while ago. I bought that. Originally bought in the 200 range when it was playing around here. About the 270, I bought in there. Let it run up to the I think it was about 400. Then it sold off a bit. And I held on, and it went up to the 700. I went woohoo, and then let go of it a bit. And yeah, then I bought another one when it was probably, I think it might have been on its way down. So about, I think I bought in at 700 and something. Around there maybe. Or it might have been here. It was around this range. And then I just let it do what it did, and then she's shot out again, okay? So I'll do a proper Ethereum read, or TA a little bit later on. Fuck off. So anyway, at the moment, looking reasonably nice. It's still got a fair bit of strength there. We don't know if it's going to reach this next peak. I don't think it will. I think it might turn down a bit and then move up again. So we're expecting the old Ethereum there to maybe reach over $1,000 pretty soon. Probably by the end of January. It should be over 1,000. Probably by the end of next week. But we just have to wait and see. Okay? It just depends how everything else moves. Okay? Having a closer look here. She could even reach 1,000 by tomorrow. She's still in an upward kind of motion there. Okay. Still in an upward kind of motion. I'll come and do a better one of Ethereum another time. Okay. But looking pretty good. If you got an Ethereum, I'd probably still sit around and hold on to that for some time. I think Ethereum's a long-term hold for a while. What's going on here? XRP. So let's have a look at Ripple. As usual, there's certain people out there like Bix Weir who just says that Ripple is the banker coin and everyone thinks it's the banker coin. It's its own coin, guys. But they wanted to approach the banks because they thought it would be a great idea for banks to use cryptocurrency. And of course it is. It's a way to get the banks to adapt to our way of doing business for the future. But people like Bix Weir and Cliff High and all these other phonies, they still stick to this old paradigm of the world's going to crumble and the apocalypse is coming, and they're still stuck in that. They can't let go of it. Okay, there are elements of that are out there, but we have the possibility to change the future as we move through. Okay, and a lot of people are seeing what's going on, and these older fellas, they just don't understand what change can actually do. As generations change, they have different ideas and they approach and treat solutions differently to the way a previous generation would do it. Okay, so that's why we're not seeing this whole end of the world apocalypse, World War III bullshit, because the younger generation think differently, they behave differently. I see it in my daughter, I see it in my son, I see it in other kids and their friends. The Z Gen, they're really intelligent kids, man. Really intelligent kids. And all these older generations can do is just constantly shit on them because they sit around playing video games or play on their phone. Well, so what? They're also very intuitive. They're very smart. They know what's going on, guys. Okay, they know what's going on. And they want to deal with the future a different way than the way that we would deal with it. Okay, so don't listen to all these other Cliff High bozo wankers. They've been making predictions for years and years and years, and they just don't get it right, okay? Because they're approaching the whole situation with the wrong mentality, and the wrong beliefs, the wrong expectations, okay? So, excuse me, I put absolutely zero faith in people like that. Look, I haven't had a chance to get back to this one yet, but I could actually move that and adjust that up to here. It's done this massive 5-wave. It's just incredibly long. Now, the thing is with Elliott wave, normally the 3 is never the shortest. It's not always the longest, but it's never the shortest. However, in here, that may be breaking the rules a little bit, if we stretch that out. Okay, and I'll probably have to move that, actually, move that up here. Seems to kind of be breaking those rules, but remember, rules are meant to be broken, and nothing will ever stay in a particular paradigm forever. It's just the way things are, and Ripple's kind of really defying a lot of expectations and beliefs. Now, I've been sitting on Ripple for a long time, since August last year, July last year, somewhere around there, because it's one of the first coins I ever bought. And when it jumped up to a certain range, I went, okay, well, it looks like it's going to move, and I made a misjudgment. But I never tell anyone my calls. I never tell anyone when I'm going in or going out, because I don't want it to affect other people. So anyway, I jumped out at a particular point, and I went, oh, damn, and I saw it shoot right up to about here, and I'm like, oh, that it would be right. But I got out at a pretty good spot and turned a pretty decent profit on that one anyway. Where's it going for now? Geez, I'll tell you what, the way it's moving, it's hard to tell. But I reckon Ripple will see $5 in the next few months quite easily. Just the way that it's moving, it's looking pretty damn good. Might be doing a turnaround for a little bit, but look, when's a good time to get into Ripple or any coin? If you see it moving like this, they're $3. So as long as if you're getting in at $1, $2.50, that's pretty good. But just never buy at the top. Okay, even if you're going to buy and hold for it long term and just not sell it, well, it doesn't really matter when you buy it. You just want to try and get the best price you can. So if you're still waiting for it to correct and go back down and sort of get a good price, just keep an eye on things, see how it goes, and make your own choices of when a good time to get in is. Okay, I would say if you're holding it long term, any time's really a decent time, as long as you're prepared to accept that it's going to correct and retrace back, usually about 50%, So, which means I would actually have to adjust this also by here. So, and I can get rid of these because it totally overshot my expectations. I was predicting $1.40 when it was sitting at about 70 cents. I was saying, okay, should be $1.40 there, and it went way beyond that. So, hooray for Ripple. And for people who don't like Ripple and think it's a banker coin, really go do your research and find out what it really is. I think they move extremely fast. They do really well. They got a good model. They got a good audience. They got a good a good model for it to be used as a global scale currency. Ripple's a cool coin, but because it's associated with the banks, you get all these old school bullfeds who can't think properly and go, it's a bankster coin, it's all run by the Federal Reserve, all this other bullshit. Well, Cliff, how's that $600 silver prediction from 2003 going, buddy? How's that going? Never happened. Now Bix Weir's come out and talking about, $20,000 Litecoin because Bitcoin did it. These guys, they got no idea. Okay, they got no idea. That's my opinion. If you want to follow them, that's your choice. But they got no fucking idea what they're talking about. Okay, what do I see for Litecoin? Definitely 3,000 around there, maybe by the mid-year. Yeah, it certainly could go higher. Just like I said, depends what it's on. I don't like making speculations about price. I'd rather know about time. At what time is it going to move? That's better. It doesn't matter what price it's going to be. Time is when you want to know, Anyway, let's keep moving on. Let's look at MadeSafe, because I mentioned MadeSafe the other day. Let's have a look at where that's going. Looking good. $1.06. I put this up the other day. There was the support. She's kept growing and growing and growing. We've got a nice big white channel here. She's got a lot of volume going in. I think that was 70, 80 cents when we looked at just the other day. And it moved up a little bit and came down. MadeSafe, good long-term coin. They're basically designing a whole new internet, these guys. So look them up and jump on. $1's still a good price for this coin. It's only, look, this thing is really only just started moving. Look. Yeah. It's really only just started moving, man. This has got a long way to go, this coin. And the other one that's got a long way to go, I call it XEM. XEM or NEM, okay. There's the channel I did. Ooh, look at this. She's taken off. That's good. Again, same kind of thing. Okay, NEM, you get this on Poloniex. There's the big wide growth. Look at that. Brr, like a big trumpet or a big crocodile opening his mouth and just spitting it out up into the sky. Great coin. XEM, it's another one. Still only $1.60, but, you know, look into that one. Look into that one for long term. Okay, I have these ones. Looking very good. Okay, Bitcoin Cash. Let's have a look at Bitcoin Cash. So at the moment, she's kind of easing off. And when you see it down like this, guys, always a good price. You know, I mean, when you consider what the price was and what it went up to, let's just pull that down a bit. I mean, this went up to around $4,000 and it's pulled back to $2,300. Yeah. Now it could keep coming down a little bit more. Here's the one level that I took it from at the 1700 before it had its big boom, and it's just right around that 7.8. So she's retraced quite a lot. Okay. And I think when things start moving, I said this was our first level of resistance, our real target. There's probably a new one now. It's probably about here, you know. But she's going to move pretty well in that range, and we want to see her move past here. When's that going to happen? At the moment, it still looks like she's moving down. This again, these are all on days so far that I'm showing you. I think it's got a little bit more downward movement to do yet. Can it go down to 1700? Probably not. I would say maybe around this level here. Maybe the 21 it might go down to. Maybe a little more. Little bit hard to see where she's off. But, you know, it's doing that movement down. She's got a bit of volume. Could come down. It'll have to do one more movement. You know, it's hard to really judge how far they're moving down to. I don't have a lot of time in these videos, but that's sort of what we're looking at the moment. We want to have a look on the hour for this. We should move in the next few hours. On the hour, it's a bit more of a different story. It's come right down. She's started making them to increments up and then working its way down again. Okay, so still along that line of support, the 22, I think maybe 21 it could come down to. Could go as low as 1900, but just keep an eye on it. Okay, so look, where would you buy in? Oh, geez, you know, I don't know, maybe between 21 and 19. You want to maybe look at that around this area. See, look, there's 2,000. There's 2,000 there. You know, so, you know, keep your eyes around this level and see where she's going to move. I don't think it's going to go that far under it. Maybe 21.69, there you go, 21.7, 22. So, you know, I mean, she's pretty low now. She's going to start moving up a little bit later, I reckon. I think I made some calls the other day, probably mid-January to late January 20th, around there. She might start sort of making that move. But you can see that, you know, it is in this range. And there's another resistance line there. I'll probably put that one in. I'll just put this in here like this for a minute. Yeah, so there's another level there. Yeah, so it moves in those ranges and then just kind of goes bing, pops out. What else can I look at here today? OMG's made some little moves. I think I made a prediction the other day that we're looking at OMG going to about $35. I'd like to see that happen. Let's see if I can. I'll go back to the day on this one. Look. So again, you know, she's moving pretty good according to what I've sort of drawn in here. Let's see. Again, it comes, as you see, it comes off course, but it's actually following this trend line here, and it's above it at the moment. So that's looking pretty good. So it could keep shooting up. We might have a bit of a boom here very soon. Yeah, it's staying along that line, so it's looking interesting at the moment. I think there's a lot of uncertainty still around OMG, but a lot of people love it. A lot of people like it, but I don't know. It's just trading funny. I think there's some influence going on there. IOTA, I just want to have a quick look at IOTA. Oh, by the way, we've got that targeted for around $38, $39 the next move for OMG. I'm sort of looking at hitting there. Let's see, IOTA. Okay, so it's still moving in that range. Okay, that's why I drew those lines. We've got support and resistance lines. It's creating a channel. It's just moving along. I hit some uncertainty recently. It's growing. Where's it moving there? I would like to see this sort of start moving up and definitely get over this line here. I got in here about $4. The last purchase I made was about $4.80, I think. About $4.80. And I made a move before that around the $2 mark. Probably around there somewhere. Actually, might have been about here. So, yeah, we're just still watching, seeing when that's going. It's building a lot of support around the $4, $3.90, $4 mark. And that's good. Okay, we want to see it create those levels. Okay, don't be too worried about it. IOTA, long-term hold. Okay, long-term hold. We just want to keep watching that and seeing where it's going. All right. EOS. I want to cover as many as I can here. Oh, hooray! Yeah, we got EOS on the move again. Now, I bought my last purchase. Hang on, I'll just make sure that's the right one, because sometimes it might not be the right one. No, that's what I thought. It must have been some other EOS coin or something like that. So she's coming around for a bit of a turn here over the next few days. Might see a bit more of an increase in volume. However, what are our candlesticks telling us? Okay. Yeah. Doji. But look, 70% of the time they're effective. The other, 72%, I think. It's about 72% they're effective, which leaves a pretty big margin, about 28%, where they're usually not effective. And they're not quite indicating always which way they're going, okay? But we're still having some growth, and it can take a little bit of time from this doji here to sort of maybe the next one or two. I mean, we're on a day here, okay? Because you can see, there's a reversal. She started growing up. There's a reversal, doji, okay? Doji on the way down, bang, big sell-off. That's moving up. You see what I mean? So, get to know your candlesticks, okay? I still got a lot to learn on candlesticks. But they do indicate where things are moving. But you need all your tools. A good tradesman has all the tools. Yeah. Now, some might just like to use a hammer and nail, and a bit of a basic hand screwdriver. Others might have a combination of new technology and old technology. It doesn't matter what people do. But I think you're going to get the best picture by using the best ones and the most useful ones as regularly as possible. Okay. So, I haven't done any charting for EOS in a little while, but it's looking pretty good. I think we're going to see a bit more growth here soon. Let's go to the hour. All right. You can see on the hour, again, there's a bit of a turn. Are we going into a second movement up? Are we going to an increase in volume? Is there room there on the RSI to do it? Certainly. Is there room on the MACD here that we can move up? Certainly. So let's hope we see a nice move up. See, he's still going at the moment. A nice move up for EOS. Okay. Where do I see EOS? Well, I might have to do an outlook for that in in another video. Yeah. Let's go back to the 4 hour. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. So she's growing nicely, man. Now. EOS, I actually got in here at 55 cents or something, whatever it was, about 50 cents, and it went tearing up, and I jumped out about 89 cents, I think. I was so stupid, but I kind of saw the way it was moving. I went, jumped out. This was a fair while back. Jumped out, then it sort of came back down, and I went, I'm not sure. And then all of a sudden, I watched it growing, and I thought, where's it going to go? And I got distracted with some other stuff. And off it went. So look, I've missed a few, but I've also caught a few. Okay, that's just the way the market works. You can only spread yourself so far. Anyway, guys, I might leave it at that. It's getting a little bit long here. Let's just come back to me. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for jumping on board. I had a few people send me some messages, say, look, these videos have helped, and this particular video has helped, that one's helped. So I'm glad they're helping. I had another person ask if, where can I find this stuff so we can learn too. I said, absolutely, here's the links. I put them in one of the links in the other video. But if you're not sure, just have a look. I think it's on the right side of my channel. I'll show you. You should be able to see this. If you go to Bitcoin Bankers, and I'll just make sure I've switched over here. Yeah. If you go to my channel, down the side here, I've got featured channels, yeah? And there's all sorts of people here I think are really good, that offer good information. Urban Forex, if you want to know about actual, just general trading stuff, how candlesticks works, trading 1212. Data Dash, he does crypto stuff. There is another fella, Silicone, of course, Silver Goldman. He does a paid service, so he doesn't reveal a lot of what he does, but he does do a lot of calls and stuff. Okay, so who else? There was another young fella, High Altitude Investments. Okay, really smart young fella, So these are all people. Just go to my channel, man. Just use these resources. They're free, most of them, and just use them. Learn for yourself. Also, and just while I'm here, if you really want to know about the basics, man, just you can go to your library or I think there's Investopedia, isn't it? Pedia, something like that. Investopedia. This website here. Okay. They got a little academy thing. I think they do some free courses, but so you can just do a search here. You can go candlesticks, right? Candlesticks. And it'll just go down here. Go down to this one, because that one up there will just put you out in the web. So you have a look here. Let's make sure it's got the Investopedia link. Charting, what is it? Using bullish candlestick patterns to buy stocks. Yeah. So it's got heaps of resources here, and they're not very long. Yeah. Just goes through, and it gives you a bit of some signs. Okay. What's bearish? What's bullish? All right. Just some basic stuff. Okay. Inverted. There's your hammers, and there's your inverted hammers and what they mean, how they can be used. Okay. Bullish engulf. Piercing lines, morning stars. Yeah, that's what you're looking out for. So you can use these, and they are good guides to guide you along. Okay. Investopedia. And just search this out. Now, it gives you all the charts and how to sort of note these. It takes time, though, okay? But not as much time as you think. If you do this, just read a story or two every week, every day, for a couple of weeks, and just read through. Get yourself familiar. And once you're familiar with a lot of these things, and you want to know more, then you can go on and do a paid course or something, with Silver Goldman, okay? So, and he does 6 months of calls, I think. Oh, go and see his channel. I think he does. You got to pay a certain amount. He has a couple of different levels, does portfolios and all that sort of thing for you. So go check him out. Send him an email. Ask him what he can offer, and he'll give you a rundown. Okay. He keeps them exclusive for his traders, but he also does some stuff for everyone as well. Okay. And then, like I said, you got the other channels as well. So use the free stuff to get what you need and learn the basics, and spend 3-6 months just learning everything. Do some charts, practice some charts. Use trading view to learn to start charting and using the tools. Just put it all together and just take your time, build. Don't worry too much about missing out. Get out, buy some coins and things, and while you're charting, before you buy anything, just have a look at what coins you like. What do you think's moving? Look at the top 50, 60 coins on CoinMarketCap and go from there. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. It's getting really long. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.